Welcome to the program. Our sign language interpreter is Maresha Owiti. Former Cabinet Secretary Anne Waiguru may not be off the hook just yet over the 791 million Kenya shillings National Youth Service scam. A new sworn affidavit gives details of how millions of shillings exchanged hands, with instructions from Waiguru how a plot was hatched to fix third parties and get the attention of Waiguru, and how charges against some of those implicated were planned out beforehand. The affidavit was sworn by one Josephine Kabura Irungu, whose three companies were paid the 791 million shillings. KTN's Rita Tinina begins our coverage tonight.
Just over a week after she was cleared by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission over the 791 million shillings corruption allegations at the National Youth Service, the ghost of the NYS scandal is back to haunt former Devolution Cabinet Secretary Anne Waiguru. In a sworn affidavit filed at the High Court, Josephine Kabura Irungu, a hairdresser, said to have been the main link in the scam, details how between August and September 2014, Waiguru introduced Kabura to her personal assistant Betty Maina, Director of Administration and Planning Hassan Nur, Adan Harake, NYS consultant Mutahi Ngunyi, and Waiguru's sister Lois Nyamumbarire. Kabura claims she was given a secure phone which only Waiguru would call, with instructions to only switch it on between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Kabura alleges Waiguru instructed her to open bank accounts for companies the CS had assisted to register at Family Bank, the Kenya Tea Development Authority Plaza branch, and that Waiguru provided 24 million shillings as seed capital to start the supply of road construction materials. The money, she alleges, was delivered to her by Waiguru's sister Lois Mbarire. In the 23-page affidavit, Kabura swears that Waiguru was fully aware of the transactions leading to the payment of 791 million shillings. She alleges that the CS was involved at all levels and held several meetings with her and other highly placed government officials, including the director of the Banking Fraud Department, Joseph Mugwanja. On the 3rd of May 2015, Kabura claims Adan Harake, who had been appointed the AIE holder, requested her to go to his office with 20 million shillings, which she was asked to hand over to a Mr. Mohammed in order to facilitate more business. Kabura alleges that Harake also requested her to deposit 40 million shillings into an account whose number she was given. She claims she informed Waiguru of Harake's request, and the CS said she was aware and that Kabura should make the deposit. Kabura claims that while dealing with Jua Kali workers and contractors, she was advised by Waiguru to withdraw money in cash and carry it in bags. She alleges that Waiguru requested that part of the profits be given to her sister, Lois Mbarire. Kabura details how Lois, who worked at a law firm at Finance House, would come in different vehicles, park in the basement of the KTDA bank branch, and wait for her to withdraw money and take it to her, one bag at a time. She claims that after media reports on the central bank questioning NYS payments, Waiguru summoned her, Mutahi Ngunyi, Adan Harake, Joseph Mugwanja, and Hassan Nur to her Runda home, where Mutahi Ngunyi advised Waiguru to do an official statement to cool down public anger and to do a backdated letter dated the 5th of June 2015 on the purportedly stolen password and inviting the CID to intervene. Kabura alleges that that was done to pave the way for Mugwanja to take charge of investigations and Waiguru to become the whistleblower. According to the affidavit, to divert the attention of investigators, focus would be pegged to works worth 695 million shillings, and that to disguise the truth, NYS staff would be charged in a phony setup for purposes of driving favorable public perception. Mugwanja, she claims, instructed Harake to record a statement with the Banking Fraud Department pointing out a plot by other individuals in order to take the blame away from Waiguru. On the 9th of July 2015, Kabura claims Mugwanja and Mutapei Sautet went to her office and Mugwanja gave her his phone to speak to someone who was Waiguru. Waiguru, she claims, instructed her to hand over to Mugwanja 80 million shillings she was keeping in 2 office safes. Kabura alleges Waiguru said she would keep it safely away from the NIS. Sautet carried the money in 7 bags, according to the affidavit. Kabura details how a plan was hatched to have her and another decoy arraigned in court with a charge sheet which Mugwanja had prepared, and how they were later released without any charges. Kabura claims Waiguru asked her to go to her Runda house on the 26th of August 2015 and to take with her 10 million shillings in cash. Waiguru, the affidavit states, informed Kabura that her name would be included in the charge sheet, but assured her that only funny charges would be preferred against her. Waiguru, according to the affidavit, told Kabura that she had pushed for the charging of many people, including the PS and Director General of the NYS, so that she would not be implicated anywhere. On the 11th of September 2015, Kabura alleges Waiguru released the list of 21 people implicated in the scandal, including herself. On the day she was meant to take a plea, she claims Waiguru
Justice Martin Muya placed the 2 police officers at the scene of the murder of the 6-year-old, but ruled they had no intention of killing her. The mother lost in thought as the judge delivered his lengthy ruling.
I have borne in mind that the accused persons are first offenders. I have considered all the mitigating factors adduced just opposed against the circumstances of this case and public interest, and I sentence each of them to 7 years imprisonment.
An emotional mother was not happy with the 7-year sentence for manslaughter, a lesser charge than that of murder. The killing of our child, too painful, too sudden for our only daughter. The sentencing eliciting mixed reactions.
Hii ni funzo lakini imechukua muda mrefu. Polisi kuwekwa ndani tumesema ni ajabu na hii ni mfano lakini sisi hatujaridhika na kile kifungo.
If you are not satisfied, then we might appeal ourselves because we feel 7 years is too little.
The defense had wanted the 2 police officers compelled to compensate the family, but the judge ruled the family can pursue a new line of prosecution.
They are at liberty to institute civil proceedings against the accused persons and the government as the employer, and therein lies proper and adequate compensation.
As the 2 police officers added to the number of prisoners in Kenyan jails, it was closure for now as the wheels of justice finally came to a halt 2 years later after the brutal murder of Kweka Mwandaza. Denson Sarigo, KTN News.
Right, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has embarked on a voter registration exercise targeting 4 million new voters within the next 30 days. IEBC launched the exercise with a fresh pledge to all political parties to mobilize their supporters to turn out in large numbers and register. KTN's Maureen Mwangi has the details.
Step 1 in the roadmap to the August 2017 polls. An ambitious plan by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to register 4 million new voters in the next 30 days in the 1,450 county assembly wards across the country.
We can meet this target within a month, and these machines can register even 150 per day. So we want to encourage Kenyans not to wait for the last week and start lining up on the last day.
IEBC is targeting voters who did not register prior to the 2013 general election and eligible voters who reached 18 after the last election, while those who wish to change their polling station will be required to fill up a form at the station of their choice.
Those who have registered in the last general election and are already on the voter register do not need to come back and register again unless they want to change their polling station.
Kama wewe huna kura, wewe si mwana Kenya.
We are asking Kenyans to come in large numbers to register. We have also put the timetable of the movement schedule for in every center you go, you'll find there's a schedule where the machine will be in the next 30 days.
And now the electoral body has made a fresh call for the political parties to rally behind the IEBC in the mobilization of new voters to make the exercise a success. But the opposition coalition has stamped the 30 days set aside for the exercise as inadequate and unlikely to bring on board all the eligible voters.
Kuna eneo zingine ambayo zina watu wengi zaidi ambaye wana vitambulisho na hawana kura. Wamepewa vifaa chache.
We have talked to the political parties. In fact, we are encouraging them today to come and meet with us, the commission, anytime they want. We will tell them how it has been distributed, the numbers, and how they can help us get these numbers.
But potential voters in Kericho County and Malindi constituency, where they are pending by-elections, will not participate in the exercise until after the mini polls slated for March 7th.
In the next financial year again, we are going to do a similar mass voter registration exercise on the same day again, from February to March, again targeting 4 million.
The IEBC caravan to popularize the exercise, which started at the Standard Group Center along Mombasa Road, is expected to tour various parts of the country, mobilizing potential voters for the exercise.
I'm urging Kenyans that if you miss out to register as a voter, you miss out to exercise your right as a citizen to vote.
We are bullish about the exercise. We are hopeful that people will come in large numbers and take advantage and register as required.
An ambitious plan, but which the IEBC says is achievable if all the political players mobilize the potential voters to turn out in large numbers and make the entry of 4 million new voters on the register a success. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.
The next 30 days obviously massive for the IEBC's election roadmap. Meanwhile, all Jubilee coalition affiliate parties have reached a deal to fold up and form a single party in which President Uhuru Kenyatta would seek re-election next year. A steering committee formed by the coalition to merge the parties has announced that they had agreed to dissolve the outfits and join Jubilee Party, which is awaiting registration. Co-chairman of the committee, Meru Senator Kiraitu Murungi, said all the members of the new party would support President Kenyatta's re-election in 2017 and Deputy President William Ruto's expected presidential bid in 2022.
I need let me let the cat out of the bag. We have a deal that all the affiliate parties of Jubilee are going to merge into one very strong mass party, and that party is the Jubilee Party, represented here by the leaders of the various parties that you are seeing. The party is not yet registered. We are working on a process and we are going to inform you when it's going to be registered. The other deal we have is that come 2017, all the leaders of this party and their members will support President Uhuru Kenyatta for the second term as the president of this country. And we are also going to support the Deputy President William Ruto for the 2022 general elections to be president of this country.
Right, on to our top story tonight, and a new sworn affidavit by one Josephine Kabura Irungu has implicated former CS Anne Waiguru, saying that millions of shillings exchanged hands at the National Youth Service with instructions from Waiguru. On the big person discussion tonight, we are seeking your indulgence. We are asking you, should Anne Waiguru be further investigated following new revelations from that affidavit? Keep the SMSs and the tweets coming. Watching KTN Prime, many thanks for staying with us. We take a quick break, but don't go too far. Welcome back. The mass voter registration exercise, which kicked off today, is a vital process in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC 2017 general election roadmap. The exercise has been rocked by alleged underfunding and questions from the political class. But the Commission has remained steadfast, sticking to its plan on Spotlight 2017 this Monday night. We take a look at the all-important Electoral Commission and its preparedness as it embarks on arguably its most important 18 months, the run-up to the August 2017 general election. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has begun the first of 2 month-long mass voter registration exercises that are intended to add some 8 million new voters to the voter register. Despite budgetary constraints to this key process, the electoral body says it is ready to conduct the 2017 general election 18 months to the polls. Just how well prepared is the Kenyan electoral body?
I would say that the Commission is ready, and as you know, last month we launched our election operations plan that is really a clear roadmap to the 2017 general elections, and we have shown the road with all the activities that are expected up to the 8th of August 2017, which is the polling day. So we are ready for the election.
But despite the electoral body's confidence in its plan and ability, there is still some skepticism from the political class. But others are giving the Commission a clean bill of health.
Voter education. Now, this never happened. And so even out there, people are asking questions. Are we changing stations? Are there new registrations? Can I change my polling station? If I had registered in Nairobi, can I go register at home? Those kind of things. So one thing that is going to mess up this exercise is the lack of voter education.
They have learned lessons, and that's why maybe now they're even starting to prepare at the moment. And I'll say they're modestly prepared. Somebody said about 60%. I'll say about 70% prepared. You know, that they want to start, and they're doing it, Mike, under very difficult circumstances of resources.
According to the IEBC, the ongoing voter registration exercise could have been handled much better in terms of funding from the government.
The government allocated us only 500 million, which is way below what we require. And this is why even in our planning, we just planned to go down to ward level, having one BVR kit per ward.
The issue of voter registration has been a divisive one for the ruling Jubilee side and the opposition coalition for reforms and democracy CORD.
This requires some form of innovative legislation from our own leaders. Instead of posturing, you hear Duale saying, oh, stop it. You hear CORD saying, oh, stop it. Everybody posturing, yet it is them to provide us with innovative solutions for the 20th and 21st century, which are cheaper, which are faster.
The Electoral Commission has also been criticized for a lack of clear communication channels.
The main problem normally, Mike, comes out when people start thinking that probably there's some games being played to disenfranchise people from registering. That's where the problem is coming. And I told you the reason is that IBC doesn't come out early with information that the Kenyans need.
A time like this, prior to the 2013 elections, Kenyans did not even know the election date following a court case on the same. The Electoral Commission believes that this time round it has a clear and concise plan and in good time.
Remember when we came into office, we only had 15 months to do boundary delimitation, to conduct biometric voter registration, and within a month, because the timelines were revised to the last minute when Parliament was dissolving. And we had procurement challenges where there were late procurements, a lot of delays, and which actually had an effect on our training of personnel, testing of equipment.
A report released by the Law Society of Kenya in January found out that IEBC's preparations for the 2013 elections were poor and uninspiring, citing poor procurement procedures, lack of control of finances, and poor management of the election. The issue of biometric voter registration kits reportedly failing to work has been seen as a major issue in the 2013 polls. However, the Electoral Commission has sought to clarify. According to IEBC, the BVR system worked 100%.
Kenyans believe that technology, whatever technology we used, failed. BVR worked. What had challenges was the electronic voter identification device, which on polling day the voters were supposed to be authenticated using that machine, and they did not work well. They worked in very few areas. And of course, the results transmission system for the presidential results that worked only up to about 44%.
So has the IEBC learned any lessons from the 2013 elections to help it manage the 2017 polls better?
Even the use of technology, which was a challenge in 2013, can fail. But if you have trust in the Electoral Commission and trust in the systems that have been set, then as a country, you are able to conduct that one event that brings people together and agree when the results come. You are all in agreement that this is our leader, these are our leaders, and you move on to other issues of nation building.
And the first step in achieving success in Kenya's most expensive election to date will be registering 4 million new voters in the next 30 days. Ben Kitili, KTN News. Let's move away from Kenyan politics, shall we, and focus on Uganda, whose general election is just 72 hours away. At least one person has been killed and several others wounded following clashes in Uganda's capital, Kampala, between police and supporters of the main opposition presidential candidate, Kizza Besigye. Besige's car was towed away to his home by an armored police vehicle. Earlier in the day, the opposition leader was briefly detained by authorities after he disobeyed police orders to follow a particular traffic route under the advice. The presidential candidate was supposed to address several rallies in different parts of Kampala. KTN's Solomon Serwanja reports from Kampala.
Wandegea, which is a Kampala suburb, turned into a battleground as the Uganda police clashed with supporters of Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate Dr. Kizza Besigye. This after the men in uniform blocked Dr. Besigye from proceeding to the city center to address a rally in Kafumbe Mukasa in downtown Kampala.
It's guided all the way from Kasangati coming to Makerere. Now, the development at Makerere is that the Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye is now not interested in going to Makerere. He wants to head to the city center again. Now, how do you go about that?
Prior to his decision to proceed for the final rally, Dr. Kizza Besigye was scheduled to address a rally at the Makerere University grounds. Besigye, however, cancelled the rally on grounds that he would be late for his final rally in downtown Kampala. Earlier in the day, Dr. Kizza Besigye's procession was similarly dispersed by the police on Ginger Road area, which is located in the central business district.
Doing is what they have been doing all along, denying citizens their right to move, citizens their right to assemble, citizens their right to influence political opinion. This is what they have been doing all along. And we are determined to regain our rights. We are determined to regain our freedom in this country. Some of us may die, but the country will be free sooner or later.
The key opposition leader was then arrested and whisked away to Kira Road police station. He was, however, released without any charges and returned back to his home in Kasangati. He, however, returned on the road until he was blocked at the Wandegea police station. These chaotic scenes come barely 2 days to the elections scheduled for the 18th of February. Solomon Serwanja, KTN News, Kampala, Uganda.
Be sure to stay on KTN for the most qualified coverage of the Uganda elections in the next few days. A Human Rights Watch report indicates that hundreds of women and girls were raped during the 2007-2008 post-election violence here in Kenya. They are now struggling with devastating physical and psychological health conditions, poverty and social exclusions. Zinzi Kibiku now reports.
The 104-page report by Human Rights Watch called "I Just Sit and Wait to Die" was made public Monday. The report is based on interviews of 163 women and girls, 9 male survivors and witnesses of rape and other witnesses of rape and sexual violence in the post-election period.
We're talking about the lives of individuals that were shattered between December 2007 and January 2008. And since that time, the men and women whose stories are narrated in this report have been unable to move on with their lives.
This is not the first time human rights groups have spoken out. Back in February 2013, a petition was filed to the Constitutional and Human Rights Division of the High Court, and in March 2015, President Uhuru Kenyatta ordered that 10 billion Kenyan shillings be used to seek justice for victims.
The State of the Nation address of the President indicates that on the eve of his speech, he he had received a report from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions indicating that out of 6,000 files, the DPP multi-agency task force had reviewed over 4,000 files, and the conclusion was that it was not going to be possible to prosecute PEV-related offenses due to lack of evidence.
The post-election violence left 1,333 people dead, 600,000 displaced, and 900 cases of sexual violence. The Kenyan government has provided legal compensation to the people who were displaced and lost property. Survivors of rape and other sexual violence have largely been excluded, and little has been done to address their specific medical needs.
And so you discover the next month that you're pregnant. So what do? You're definitely not going to have this baby. You're definitely not going to carry a gangster's baby. You're definitely not going to carry a Kikuyu baby. You're definitely not going to carry a Kikuyu, a Luo or a Kalenjin baby. At least not the way the baby has been conceived. So you think of the options, and your options are that you will have an abortion. But since abortion is illegal in Kenya, you'll go to a backstreet doctor and attempt actually to have an abortion.
Even with that detailed report, many will ask, why can Kenya put this in the past and move forward? When women go to register their babies born out of rape, they are chased away due to lack of a father's name. Both men and boys who are forcibly circumcised and castrated during the post-election violence are looked down upon society. So, how will Kenya heal and move forward if matters such as sexual violence aren't properly looked into? Zinzi Kibiku, KTN News.
Thank you for keeping it KTN. Time now for us to take a look at business. My name is Joy Doreen Bira. Motorists around the country today started enjoying cheaper fuel prices following a downward review of the pump prices by the Energy Regulatory Commission. The drop in pump prices is attributed to average landed cost of imported super petrol by 4.22%, diesel by 21.8% and kerosene by 20.23%. For a litre of petrol, Nairobi motorists will pay 86 shillings and 50 cents and 67 shillings and 88 cents for diesel and 39 shillings and 62 cents for kerosene. Mombasa will enjoy the lowest prices across the country, with a litre of petrol retailing at 83 shillings and 20 cents and 64 shillings and 63 cents for diesel and 36 shillings and 94 cents for kerosene. The price of super petrol in the international market maintained a gradual drop of 8% compared to diesel that decreased 24% and kerosene 21%, indicating higher taxes and levies on super petrol in December of 2015 and January of 2016. The fate of the multi-billion shilling Galana Kulalu food security project lies in the balance as members of parliament threaten to terminate the project, raising concerns over its viability. Speaking while on tour of the project in Kwale County, Chairman of the Agriculture Parliamentary Committee, Aden Noor, said the yields on the different crops harvested so far were not convincing. So what could be the implications for Kenya if the project stalls?
The ministry projects that Galana's 1 million acres under irrigation will provide adequate buffer against hunger should rains fail in the future. The project, being funded to the tune of 14 billion shillings, is set to lift Kenya's food security status by increasing land under irrigation by over 40%. The Galana Kulalu first crop was harvested 3 months ago under the 500-acre model farm. This placed hopes on the success of the project, which is still in trial phase.
We want private sector to come in, let them do the business, not government.
But the project recently faced a setback after the Ministry of Agriculture slashed its budget by 50% to now 7.2 billion shillings, with its milling component being detached.
The demonstration farm is supposed to be producing a quick result with a minimal cost and then hand it over to the private sector.
Speaking while on a fact-finding mission at the Galana Ranch, members sitting in the Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperatives Committee expressed concerns over the project's feasibility.
Unfortunately, the implementation pace of this project was not convincing.
The Jubilee administration has been pushing to revive its biggest project on food security ahead of next year's elections, with consumers feeling the pinch of high commodity prices.
To give this project the last hope of life, whether it is really going to move on or whether we are going to forget about it as a whole.
According to Wamalwa, the completion of the project would eliminate the 50 billion shillings spent on food imports annually and keep retail prices of high-grade maize flour at 84 shillings per 2 kg packet. Abiagina, KTN Business.
And still keeping it with matters agriculture, over the years, some farmers have been keeping records of their dairy herds in books and files, which has made it difficult to keep track of farm progress. On this week's episode of The Next Frontier, Philip Ketanyo reports on the introduction of a new herd management software that allows farmers to have all the information about performance of their dairy breeds anywhere and anytime with just a touch of a button.
Welcome to Sergon and Willy Farms in Uasin Gishu County. At these two farms, dairy farming is the core business, and dairy cows are treated with all the respect they deserve, as they are the sole source of income. Over the years, the two farms have been following closely the performance of each of their dairy cows, which is recorded in these files. But as the number of animals in the farm grew, following up on the performance of each cow became cumbersome and tedious, and the two farms needed an alternative method of record keeping.
Hiyo manual saa zingine hata hiyo vitabu yako inasapotea, saa zingine inamwagiwa na maji, na unaona ya kwamba hautaweza kupata hiyo information kamili, kwa sababu hii information yako ya ng'ombe inataka uweke kuanzia wakati ng'ombe inasaa, wakati ndama unapandisha, wakati ng'ombe inakamuliwa, uwe na hiyo record keeping yote kwa muda wa mwaka mzima.
Record keeping program according to the two farms can be as complicated or as simple as one wants, but with the introduction of the herd management software by Uniform Agri, a company based in the Netherlands, dairy record keeping has been simplified.
At the software again, you will be able to know when you are at the dashboard. That one will show you general information about the farm, like expected calving interval of cows.
The software controls the day-to-day administration and management reporting requirements for the herd. The dashboard highlights the events that are due to happen, cows that require attention, and key performance indicators give a clear overview of the herd's target and its performance.
So the best thing is always to, as a consultant, is to look at the records, and that's how in this program through SNV, in a project funded by the Dutch Embassy called KMDP, we were able to assist farmers.
This software again, it will show you the average production, and you can always set a target that you want to be at 500 liters, then you'll be able to follow it up.
This software also comes with an application designed for smartphones, Android and tablets. The Uniform app is the clever new way to access your herd data anywhere on the farm using your Android or iOS smartphone or tablet.
And that one will ensure that whenever you are far, you can always synchronize the information that you want. Whenever, if you are seated in an office, you can always check the progress of your farm.
The app requires Wi-Fi connection near the main PC, so you can synchronize the new data you have entered when you go back to the farm office. Record keeping in dairy farming is one of the most important activities, and with the introduction of this new software, even telephone farmers sitting somewhere in Nairobi can find full information about their dairy herds back in the village by just a touch of a button. Philip Ketanyo for The Next Frontier.
And that's technology making life much easier. As part of its turnaround strategy, national carrier Kenya Airways has appointed PJT Partners as the airline's transaction advisor on its balance sheet restructuring and long-term capital refinancing. In a statement to newsrooms, Kenya Airways Chief Executive Mbuvi Ngunze said he is confident that PJT, the lead investment banking firm with strategic airline advisory expertise, was going to put right Kenya Airways' balance sheet restructure as well as capital raising. Their main business lines are on strategic advisory, restructuring, as well as fund placement services. The national carrier hopes to make a financial comeback within 6 months. And that's about it for KTN Business. And the Kenya shilling today started the week on a strong note. Let's take a look at how the listed companies did perform today. And that's it for KTN Business. My name is Joy Durindira. For more business, log on to our website, standardmedia.co.ke. For now, have a good night. And up next is KTN Sports.
Many thanks for joining us on KTN Sports. 2015 New York Marathon champion Stanley Biwott is among a Kenyan star-studded lineup that is set to line up for the 2016 London Marathon on the 24th of April. Biwott, who finished second in the 2014 London Marathon, hopes to bag his second major marathon title as well as earn a Rio Olympics slot.
2015 New York Marathon champion Stanley Biwott will make his third appearance at the London Marathon following his debut in 2014, where he finished second behind Wilson Kipsang. Biwott is excited about going back to the British capital.
Proud, I have confidence, I have experience, more experience than before. And also my training this time, I think I started with a good start. I think by the end of March, I'll be completely very ready for London. The London Marathon is a flat course, although has some sharp corners, but it's a good course. The race has got pacemakers, so it's a very good race.
The 2012 Paris Marathon champion lined up for the London Marathon last year but fell off the podium. The 2016 edition is about making amends.
Running marathon is sometimes complicated. The body has to respond. You might be in shape in training, but to run a race you might not feel comfortable. So it has been a long way for me, more than 6 years training with going to races. So now I feel that I'm comfortable and I'm come gradually. Up to now where I am, I see myself as I can prove it, that I can win the majors.
The London Marathon organizers have once again put together a star-studded lineup that will be steered by the defending champion Eliud Kipchoge, 2014 winner Wilson Kipsang, world record holder Dennis Kimeto, throw in Ethiopia's Kenenisa Bekele, and you can be assured of a spectacular showdown.
London is a tactical sometimes. I cannot say people go there for records, but they go for a time like 2:04, which I can train for it. I know my body can sustain it, so I don't fear anyone.
The London Marathon is expected to serve as a litmus test for the Kenyan athletes, with Athletics Kenya expected to name the Rio Olympics marathon team shortly after.
I'm interested in, if I'll be selected, I'll be very happy to represent Kenya in the marathon team. So, but I think they will select after London or Tokyo.
Biwott bagged his first major marathon title in New York last year and hopes that London will be good to him despite the expected stiff competition. Lynn Washira, KTN Sports.
All the best to Kenyan marathoners. Macrae Kimathi, son to the legendary rally driver Phineas Kimathi, is aiming to follow in his dad's footsteps as he seeks to become the best rally driver in the country. Despite being a second-generation driver, the youngster is adamant of handling the pressure that comes with rallying, as KTN's Robinson Okenya reports.
Podium finishes have often been the highlight of rallying, with winners taking all the accolades after numerous rounds of adrenaline-gushing races. Legendary drivers, on the other hand, continue to mold and inspire young drivers to take up rallying. Macrae Kimathi is one of the youngsters who is taking such a route and is keenly following in his father's footsteps, and his dream is to become a great rally driver. The 21-year-old, who has been taking part in the Kenya National Rally, reckons that rally is not as easy as it seems.
Difficult for me because you keep watching these stars. You have Ian Duncan, Carl Tundo. Those are drivers I used to watch when I was young, when my dad used to take me to watch them. Now you're in the same league with them. It's amazing. At the same time, there's a lot of pressure. You feel it. But it's exciting. I love it.
Being a second-generation driver, McRae has had to take on the challenge of being compared to his father even before finding the perfect footing.
Driver, they look at your father and immediately they expect you to be as fast or even faster, just out of the block. And there's also that pressure because you cannot make a mistake because your father was quick.
The youngster is hoping to one day clinch the African and Kenyan rally titles.
Of course, I want to be Kenyan National Rally Champion for sure. That's why I'm here. African Rally Champion, if that is possible, yes. Probably do a World Rally Championship event. That's my target, yes.
McRae is hoping to complete the whole rally this season. This is after the youngster failed to complete some of the rallies due to car troubles last season.
We had 3 non-finishes due to mechanical failure. This season I'm just hoping that I can get my car sorted as early as possible and enjoy the season and try and finish some rallies.
The 2016 Kenya National Rally Championship will steer off on the 27th of February in Kajiado County. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports.
To some basketball news now. In Strathmore, men's team and Eagle Wings emerged winners of the Smart Olumbo tournament that was held at the Strathmore University in honor of the legendary coach Smart Olumbo. Until his demise in 2014, Smart was head coach of Eagle Wings as well as Laser Hill Academy. Strathmore won the men's category 50 to 42 points, while Eagle Wings dunked Strathmore women 39-33. Emmanuel Sojan and Rose Ndela were crowned the most valuable players in the tournament finals. Griffin Ligari of Thunder and Sarah Chan of USIU were acknowledged for the Smart Olumbo Award.
Then let's teach these mosquitoes a lesson, because Mama has Mortein Doom, which makes mosquitoes go away and not come back the whole night. So you get a peaceful night's sleep all night long.
Mortein Doom. A peaceful night is a Mortein Doom night.
Right. On our top story tonight, former Cabinet Secretary for Planning and Devolution, Anwar Goro, may not be off the hook just yet over the 791 million Kenya shillings National Youth Service scandal after a new sworn affidavit giving details about millions of shillings exchanged hands, allegedly with instructions from Waiguru. On the big question, we did ask you, should Anwar Goro be further investigated following the new revelations from the affidavit? Very quickly to some of your views, and Matthews Mwendo on Twitter says, those are very serious allegations leveled against our investigative agencies ought to do a thorough work. Godwin Manyonga says EACC will not take double standards. We previously cleared her and further investigations won't make much of a difference. Emmanuel Odor says EACC taking us for a ride. How do we trust them to fight graft? Last opinion, Ben Mutuku says yes, it is fishy how quick the EACC cleared her while the likes of Engineer Kamau and Gilu are still under investigations. Thank you for your tweets and SMSs, and many thanks for joining us on KTN Prime. Ben Kitili, good night from the KTN News Center.